So folks, we have this walnut blank here, and it's basically half a log that I cut up on the chainsaw, and now we're going to move to the bandsaw. But first, before I do that, I'm going to measure a circle in here. Essentially, it's just to be able to trace a chalk outline using this little gadget here with a little window that gives me an opportunity to put a piece of chalk in there. And then I could trace the outline. I was able to do a pretty good job there with that blue. Anyways, next step is to put this on the bandsaw and carve that circle out. Hopefully you'll join me there. All right, folks, so we are at the bandsaw, and we have this walnut log that I have cut up on the chainsaw. We're ready to cut the outline following the blue chalk. All right, so there we have the walnut blank ready to go on the lathe. Hopefully we'll see you there. Oh, welcome back. I am just now ready to do the first cut on the lathe. I have got this walnut log mounted between the headstock and the tailstock, and it's pinched between, so that's not going anywhere. And essentially I'm going to use this tool here, which is a David Ellsworth bowl gouge, and it just allows me to get a nice cut off of the log, and I can do most of the bowl with this tool. So here we go. So now that we have a fairly round bowl, we can speed up the lathe. All right, so folks, as I've reviewed the bowl and the shape of it, I'm going to try to remove a little bit of the side here so that it actually starts to curve inside toward the center of the bowl, and then the rest will follow. So wish me luck. All right, a much nicer curve there. I really like that, actually. So let me just refine it a little bit, but otherwise I'm really pleased with this. So a little bit of work I need to do, just a touch up there of shear scraping, and then on this side as well. All right, so I'm not sure if you can see that profile there in the end. It's got a really nice curve to it. So at this point, I'm going to now just finish up the tenon, get that nice and at a 90-degree angle. And for that, we'll use a parting tool. And then I want to make sure that the tenon gives me a 90-degree base there, which it does, and it's less than half an inch, so we're in good shape for this to fit onto the chuck. Let me see, is it yeah, that should be narrow enough for it to fit in the chuck. So the next step is I'm going to reverse this and clamp it on the chuck, and hopefully we'll see you there too. All right, so this is sitting nice and flush. All right, folks, the bowl is now in the chuck, sits so that it's flush with the jaws, and we're ready to start to hollow at the inside. Alrighty, so now what I'm going to do is, because we have some wood removed from here, I can actually get into the corners. I'm going to touch up the bowl edge with the grinding wheel, and then reposition the tool rest, and we'll be back at it in a minute. All right, folks, we are back with a sharpened grind and a repositioned tool rest and a repositioned camera view. So here we can leverage our angle and really get into the hollowing of the bowl. All right, so as I turn it, I can really feel the curvature, and I think we've got a nice, pretty nice shape in there. I do want to do a couple measurements at this stage, and those measurements include some calipers here to essentially give me the depth, and if I use this little screw here I can open up the corresponding top here. And it's spring-loaded as well, so it allows me to get into place without worry about taking it out. So at the tip of the bowl rim, we're basically about a 1/4 inch or so. As I move it in, so it's about 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. Here it's less than a 1/4 inch, so it's maybe right there. It's really quite thin there. So here at its thinnest, is, well, it's basically gets down to about 1/8. Let's see here, about 1/8. So I don't want to go any more thin there, but I had to do that to match the curve. I do have a nice curve in there. And then at the very base here, where the tenon meets the bowl, I've got just over 1/8 there, so not much room to play with there as we have to as we play with the bottom. So I'm just going to now grab a scraper, which is this tool here, and it's going to help me get a nice finish off of the bottom of the bowl. And we'll start here and kind of work our way towards the center. So as I turn the bowl, it certainly has released some of the stresses, and it's already started to, become a little bit out of round. There's a bit of that going on, but not much really. And I'm really happy with this curve here at the bottom. I don't have any major bumps or anything like that. It feels fairly smooth. So I'm going to do one more pass here at the bottom and hopefully get it to a nice finish. I'm going to raise this up a little bit. Alrighty, so the next stage, folks, is on all honesty, is to do some sanding, and a whole lot of sanding. So I actually have an air compressor with a variety of grits, and I'll start with 80 grit, and then work my way up to 220. So we'll see you in a little bit as I work on that. All right, I thought I'd show you one more step actually, because I really want to have a good idea of how much wood there is at the bottom of the bowl. I have this little gizmo here that if I put this on my lathe, this end here corresponds with the end of the plank here, and this will actually tap the base of the bottom of the bowl. And then this piece here, it essentially references where the end of with a chuck, which is here, meets the base of the bowl. So right now it looks like I have, wow, not much room at all. I have maybe maybe 3/8 thickness. You can maybe see that. I don't know. You can't really see that angle right there, but it's basically that gap that would then exist tells me exactly how much space I have there. So you can kind of see it if I move it up a little bit. So just a little bit of space. Hopefully we won't be making a funnel, but that's the goal anyways. See you in a bit. So folks, I thought I'd show you the process for my sanding. It does include this air compressor with a squeeze trigger there and Velcro discs, and this is how I do it. All right, folks, we're getting to the final stages of the bowl, but we have the bowl foot, or the tenon, is still on here, and that's what I'm holding right now. That's the tenon, and I wanted to remove that completely so the bowl sits nice and flat. But there's how it's coming along. It's doing quite well, and once we get the first coat of finish on there, the grain will just pop with a real rich, nice, dark walnut color. But before we get there, we do need to take this little insert here, and this has a bit of foam on the top of it as a padding, so that we can sandwich the bowl. Sandwich the bowl between the tailstock and the headstock. So we don't need a crazy lot of pressure. Just need a bowl that runs generally true, is the hope. Let's see how this spins. Alright, so it spins nice and true. I'm also going to increase the speed of the lathe. Alrighty, and we're going to take off the tenon using the gouge. All right, folks, here we have the bowl pinched between the headstock and the tailstock, and we're going to remove the tenon with hopes that we'll end up with a bowl and not a funnel. So wish me luck. And we got that on camera, so there you go. We do have a funnel. So folks, here we have the walnut bowl, and it's ready to be turned underside and remove. We need to remove the tenon. So I've got a number of options, and one way was using a pad and pinch the headstock and the tailstock, and that doesn't always end up working so well. But this way is using a tool, adapted tool called a jumbo jaws, and it really helps with being able to secure the bowl so I can freely remove the tenon. Right now I'm just using the tailstock as some support as I hollow away a lot of the meat of the tenon, and then once I get to a smaller diameter, smaller thickness, I'll move this away and go at it with the shear scraper. So here we go. So interesting, the jumbo jaws does have a tendency to loosen, and that's exactly what happened here. Just didn't get it into a tight grip, but there we go. And I was able to remove the most of the tenon. I don't have that much space, maybe a 1/4 inch or so. It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like I've got a very thin piece of wood there, and it's very likely to be true. I do hope I don't end up making a funnel out of this guy. All right, feels pretty good. Really am holding my breath, making sure that, alrighty, so I got a little bit of a bump there. I really hope, and fingers crossed, that we don't end up with a funnel here. All right, good. We got a nice concave bottom too, which is wonderful. So now it's simply a matter of a quick sanding again of the bottom, nice and flat. We don't have just a little touch up there, and then we're done. So I'll bring you the finished piece in a moment. Thanks, folks, for joining me. So, folks, with the sanding done, I'm ready to remove the bowl from the jumble jaws, and we can give you us show the final results. There's the walnut bowl. Once we put a coating of oil on it, it'll certainly have a really nice shine and richness to it as the wood enhances or absorbs the oil. There's the bottom. So I think we got a pretty nice looking bowl. Hey folks, thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed it, give me a like. That would be awesome to see. Otherwise, hope to catch you on a stream in the near future. Take care. So thanks for watching, folks. I wanted to share the last little video here. Here's the first walnut bowl that I made, and was able to salvage it with putting an insert in there. And here's the final results of the last smaller walnut bowl, and I wanted to share that with you, and so happy with it. And thanks for taking the time to watch, and hope you will subscribe and like, and hope to see you online again soon. Take care. Bye.